It's somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion. Yet, he had to sell his music catalog because he was broke, which is breathtaking.
And I say, oh, the way I breathe you in, it's the texture of your skin.
Money seems to be at the root of all of this. And the big money is Justin's music.
This statement highlights the alarming reality of financial mismanagement within the music industry, especially for young stars. Bieber's wealth, juxtaposed with his financial struggles, raises questions about the exploitation of artists by those who profit from their talent.
Hey, Justin.
Because when you listen to Bieber's side, they say he wrote everything. And when you talk to Scooter's side, guess what? He wrote none of his hits.
But if you look at all of his songs, he is listed as one of the writers.
Yep.
That also, we should say, that's not uncommon. Like, once we heard that from Scooter's side that, well, Justin didn't actually write these, that didn't strike me as all that odd.
Justin's people were really offended by that.
I'm sure they were.
And they said he actually wrote those songs.
But you can technically, let's say Justin gets a demo, and we know that he got demos for some of these hit songs that were written by other people. We've spoken to the people who actually wrote them and sent the demos to him. If Justin says, you know what, I don't like this note.
Yeah.
And he changes one note, well, that's it. Now he's justified.
We talked to somebody who he was a collaborator with who said he sent Justin a demo and Justin didn't change a thing. Yet he was still
Despacito.
listed.
Pooh Bear wrote that song that he recorded, and what we're told, and this is not from Scooter's side, this is, we know this, that the artist says that he did a demo for Justin, and not just a demo on Despacito, but on every song he wrote, and Justin never changed the demo, didn't change it a bit, that the demo is exactly like the recorded song.
So Justin was basically a singer.
If it's true that Justin Bieber didn't write a lot of the songs that he's gotten credit for, that's not unheard of. It's not that it happens all the time with all the artists that we love, but it would not be the first time that a major star put their name on a song that they didn't really write or barely wrote at all.
Scooter fought so hard for him to get these rights that he actually burned so many bridges with other artists.
So here it is. Pooh Bear, what do you mean Despacito?
Pooh Bear was poppin', baby.
Ed Sheeran and Benny Blanco, they wrote Love Yourself, and after the song was released, Ed Sheeran did a documentary, and you see the two of them recording the song, writing the song, and Justin's nowhere inside.
So Mrs. Carrot, don't you rain my parade.
Boyfriend was written by Mike Posner. Sorry was written by Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter.
So the bottom line is, according to Scooter's camp, Justin wouldn't have had this $200 million publishing deal if it wasn't for Scooter getting him the publishing right on all this music that he had really nothing to do with writing. Some of these writers wouldn't have hits if Justin Bieber hadn't sung their songs.
Yeah.
So they were fine with giving Justin some of the publishing rights.
And so, you know, look, the through line here is that Justin's people say, oh, Scooter screwed Justin. But when it comes to this, aggressiveness worked on Justin's.
On this, I don't see how Scooter screwed Justin. There are other things that you could definitely question. This is not one of them.
Scooter's the one who found Justin 18 years ago and made him a superstar.
That's what he does. That's what he's supposed to do.
But Justin has such a different story about the beginning. You know, he was only 13 years old. He saw Scooter as a father figure. He put all his trust in him. And looking back, he feels like he was fleeced. He feels like he was bamboozled in this entire working career together.
Was he bamboozled? How was he bamboozled? What specifically did Scooter do to hurt him?
Who's telling Justin that he was bamboozled?
Who's telling him? No,
Well,
but no, that's
people
right.
are in his
That's-
ear.
There are
That's
outside
right.
influences that may have made a factor here.
It's so crazy because when you think of Scooter and Justin's relationship over the years, they were so close. you could see that Scooter did love Justin like a son, and Justin did love Scooter like a father. You could totally see that just from their interactions over the years.
We have that clip of when Justin was a kid and he wanted to buy a toy helicopter, right? And it was Scooter who was saying, no, you can't, you don't need this.
Mom, I need to get a helicopter. No, a little flying helicopter. It's really little.
And that's such a fatherly figure.
Very fatherly. There's another way to look at it, which clearly Justin is viewing it this way now, is that, yeah, he loved me. Yeah, he was being like a father to me because I was making him incredibly rich.
Yeah.
I was the golden goose.
There's an old saying, though, if you got somebody who's getting a percentage of your money, the richer they get, the richer you got.
And this is a tale that is as old as the music industry. Yes, there's always going to be someone else who's making money off the artist, but if the artist feels like that person is getting too much, then this is where you end up.
The breaking point for Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun, but really Justin, is the Justice Tour.
She's confident, I can tell by the way she walks in the room.
That is the tour where Justin pulled the plug in the middle and went into massive debt, and the fans were pissed off, and there was just a lot of finger pointing. So the show kicked off in February 2022. Justin did 49 shows, and then he pulls the plug, and he doesn't do the remaining 81 shows.
Justin Bieber revealing on social media that he has been diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare condition causing paralysis of part of his face and forcing him to postpone dates on his current tour.
So this is really interesting. So Ramsay-Hunt is a really serious condition where you can get shingles in your inner ear, you lose your balance, and you can get Bell's palsy, which is, a facial paralysis.
Which we saw with him.
Yeah, we saw that he had like lack of mobility on one side of his face.
As you can see, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move.
He still has a little of that.
We're told he actually had to do, he had a physical.
Yeah.
Because the insurance company, he's trying to get the money from the insurance company. We're told that he passed that physical, that they said there's nothing wrong with him. And even though there's a dispute about whether or not the insurance company should have paid, if they didn't pay, to me, that reads exactly like he really did pass the physical. Because why else would they not pay? If an insurance company doesn't pay, they're opening themselves up to a huge lawsuit where they're gonna lose not only that money that they owed, but they could lose punitive damages.
And it says something that Justin has not filed a lawsuit against the insurance companies.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to the doctor, but to me, the only way to read that is he passed the physical.
Which is crazy because anybody that was watching his social media, watching the concerts from afar, you saw him break down. When the tour first started, he immediately got COVID. So he was sick from that. It started off terribly. And then he gets the Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, and we see him on stage crying, breaking down to the audience, and everyone's like, what is going on with Justin? He's not in a good place. So the fact that he was able to, allegedly do this physical and come out of it looking pretty healthy, it doesn't add up to what we saw.
Don't you think now that we know about the insurance policy and that he had to go through this physical, I look back at those social media posts as him trying to make it clear, trying to make a case for, I need to get this insurance money.
Scooter's camp has told us he just thinks Justin wanted to go home.
Right.
That he was just tired, he wanted to spend more time with Haley, he wanted to go on vacation, he wanted to live his life without going on tour.
Yeah, but then our Justin sources say that he was set up for failure, that he was, he was put out there like a show pony to do all these tricks and shows every single night.
there's an advance that AEG paid.
We know this from both sides.
Right.
So AEG, which through the concert, gives Justin a $40 million advance. When Justin cancels the tour, AEG says, hey, yours $24 million. And Justin's like, I don't have the money. And so Scooter's company, Hybe, they say, look, we'll assume this debt and we'll pay it off for you, Justin. So Justin then signs a note saying he'll pay Scooter's company that $24 million back over a 10-year period. And he makes one payment. And this is where the conflict starts. So we're told from Scooter's side that Justin's people called and said, he doesn't have the money to pay anymore. And he's never paid another payment. Now, from Justin's side, they're saying, well, his accountant, his business manager, Lou Taylor, started digging and said Scooter was way overpaid commissions. Justin said, you screwed me. You took way too much in commissions. So Scooter orders an internal audit from Hybe, his company, and they look at all the books and they come out and they say, guess what? Justin owes me $1 million. I don't owe him anything. He owes me $1 million based on the audit.
But see, if I'm Justin, I look at that and say, well, of course you guys are gonna say that. You hire, it's your company. It's Hybe that did the audit.
And we know Justin's people said that. So Scooter then hires an independent company.
Pricewaterhouse.
Same people that do the
They do the Oscars. They do the Oscar tallies. They're a very respectable independent accounting firm.
Pricewaterhouse spends 6 months doing an audit, and it comes back in April, last month. It comes back and it shows Justin did not owe Scooter $1 million. He owed him more than $8 million.
Oops.
Almost $9 million.
Oh boy.
Almost $9 million.
Almost $9 million.
Remember, Justin's the one who asked for this independent audit. And he gets it back and it says he owes $8 million.
The revelation that Justin Bieber's audit suggests he owes a staggering amount amplifies the narrative of betrayal and mistrust. As he grapples with his finances, this situation reflects a broader issue of transparency and accountability in artist management.
So that whole plan has gone south. What we found out is that after that, he doesn't like that number. His team does their own audit, but they won't tell us what the results of that audit.
Which says something.
And we've been talking to both sides, and they will not say anything about it. They won't dispute the $8+ million figure.
But we were told he doesn't even want that money.
By the way, if Justin had just finished that tour, he would have made $90 million.
Yeah,
That would have solved a lot of his problems.
Right?
$90 million.
$90 million.
When you're rolling in dough, all of this doesn't matter that much. When you're broke and you want to start blaming people, that's when it matters. I was on a call with multiple people. Justin's side acknowledges, because Scooter's side was saying for a long time, this is because Justin's broke. And Justin's side, Charlie, we were doing this story where Justin's side was saying he doesn't have money trouble, he has plenty of money and everything else.
There's no truth to that. There's been a lot of rumors for a while that he's been having money problems, but we were told consistently he's not having money problems.
So I'm on this call, and somebody really in the know said that in 2022 he was on the verge of, and the words were, financial collapse. And that's why he had to sell his catalog.
He was so broke in 2022 that he had to borrow Will Bracey, who's a member of the church.
His COO.
His COO. He had to borrow Will's credit card so he could go play golf. That's how broke he was.
That's
he
what
could
we've
not
heard.
afford a round of golf.
But it's not cheap to be the biggest pop star in the world.
This shocking admission underscores the paradox of fame and financial instability. It reveals how the pressures of celebrity life can lead to reckless spending and ultimately a desperate need to reassess one's financial decisions.
He is the biggest pop star in the world. Of course he has to charter jets. Of course he has mega mansions, which, by the way, we were told he paid cash for all the houses.
And it struck us when he made that sale and they announced the sale.
Justin Bieber just sold his music catalog for an estimated measly $200 million.
It was shocking.
We're all like, why is Justin Bieber at such an early stage in his career selling off his catalog? And there were other people who were selling their catalogs, but they were
much
all
older.
much older. And so it was like, why is he selling this?
Sold out of
I'm telling you,
desperation.
Justin Haley and Michael Rhodes,
his attorney,
went to Scooter and said, we got to sell this catalog. Scooter said no. And finally, when Scooter realized they were going to sell it, this was in December, Scooter said, at least wait until January because you'll get a tax break if you wait till January. And Justin said, I got to sell it now. And he sold it in December. That's how broke he was. But, you know, how on earth do you blow through $1 billion?
8 buses. 8 buses, one that you do a renovation for $2 million on. Insisting on flying on only heavy jets. Can't take a light regular jet. Justin and
You're
Haley
talking about
wanted
the Justice
to.
Tour.
Yeah, on the Justice Tour.
In this segment, we explored Justin Bieber's shocking financial collapse despite his massive fortune. With cult-like influences surrounding him and mounting debt, the star's life reflects a cautionary tale of fame gone wrong. As fans, we must question the narratives presented to us and advocate for transparency in the industry.